Hi, I'm Brad, at home. Even though I just got home, I still have a lot of videos and recordings from things I tried at CES. So until I'm done with all that, this event beanie, as I like to call it, is going to stay on through all these videos. Even though I'm in Florida, there's literally no reason to wear a beanie. So last CES, I got to try a micro OLED headset. It was the ShiftAll MeganeX, which is a subsidiary of Panasonic. The company that used to be well known for a lot of good things, but I think they're okay now. They're not as well known today. So the ShiftAll company has been working on this headset over the last year and made some pretty severe changes. The first thing was they were planning to use an XR1 chip to do all standalone tracking. Today, they're including a Tundra tracker tracking kit for Lighthouse to use with PCVR because basically they couldn't get that camera tracking good enough to release to consumers. And they also announced two different versions of this headset, the MeganeX. A consumer version, which is going to launch for $1,699 US, and then a business version, which they have not announced the price yet. They're very similar, except the business version has a different headband that's more like the stupid glasses form factor that everyone's obsessed with right now. The consumer version, however, has a little head pad and a different head strap and removes the diopter, basically. Now, when I tried the headset last year, CES 2022, I was pretty happy with what I saw. I mean, it was not a perfect picture and it was a very short period of time, but the optics and the displays were very clear. This year, it seems they might have changed their optics for both of those units I mentioned. Just to give you an idea, the first headset I tried on the show floor was the business version with the diopter support, and I thought that was the only one originally. And when I tried that thing on, I adjusted it so many different ways, as much as I can, getting to 0 because I don't have any prescription value, and it was a blurry mess. Not only that, it had huge issues with barrel distortion, so everything kind of looked like a fish eye when you look down and anything close to you. It was awful, and I could not believe what I was seeing. I was kind of walking around. I love to talk to other people who tried these things, and one person said they didn't experience the same issues as me. So I was like, what's going on? And then that person's like, oh, did you try the one with the headband that goes over your forehead? I'm like, oh, I didn't see that one there. So I had to run back and then try that unit, which, yeah, that one's way better. Somewhat usable compared to the one that is known as Business Edition. But even then, it still suffers from the actual, that weird fisheye-ness that I was explaining. It's still not clear, and around the edges of your periphery, which is, I would say the FOV is feeling more similar to the Quest 2, but it's not an experience that warrants $1,699. There was also one more weird artifact I noticed with the consumer version, since things were way more clear in the center, and that both eyes, I closed one eye and closed the other to make sure that I was not crazy, had what looked like to be a seam at the same spots on the displays that were put onto the headset. I mean, the tracking was good. They're basically pasting with a Lighthouse tracking kit that I know, talking to industry sources, is being provided by Tundra, so they know what they're doing on that front. But the actual visuals, even though it's micro OLED, this headset really needs more work still. I don't even think they should have announced a release date or a price because it's just not there. It's gotten worse, I feel like, since last year I tried it. There's one more little gripe I have with the headset as well, is that for $16.99, you get a 3-meter cable. You can only run it on wired mode. So the fact that most cables are usually 5 meters and they're giving you a 3-meter cable with this very expensive headset, it's just another little like salt on the wound, I feel like. And I'm really disappointed because I was genuinely excited. I was getting ready to put my money up front for like one of the world's first micro OLED consumer PCVR headsets. But as it stands today, I'm not going to be putting any pre-orders in. Now there's one more thing that I want to mention that the ShiftAll booth had, and you might have seen some press releases about it and thought it was silly, and it does look silly. Like, I was kind of making fun of it the entire week when I first saw it. It's called the FlipVR controllers. It's Lighthouse tracked, and the main kind of benefit is you would strap it onto your part here of your palm, and you would have full freedom to do this. It's not doing any finger tracking and anything. The main purpose that they're trying to sell to people, VR chat users who like to drink a lot, is you can flip the actual analog stick trigger and grip and then grab drinks, type on the keyboard, stuff like that. It seemed like a really strange gimmick. But when I did try it on at the booth, I'm gonna tell you up front, I actually really kind of liked it. Like everywhere, when I flipped the controllers and all the controls back onto my fingers, everything was in the right place. The grips felt good, the triggers felt good. The thumbstick was feeling pretty cheap, and clearly it's still a prototype because they're not announcing any price points or anything. But the concept was fun. Like I liked it. It was way better than I thought it was going to be. Would I replace my Knuckles controller with something like that? Probably not. But there's probably some use case. Maybe people who like to pole dance in VR and do a lot of tricks with that. Seems good for that. But ShiftAll is just kind of a weird company. I have nothing against them. I just think Panasonic is just kind of footing on the R&D stuff and releasing products that they don't want under the Panasonic branding, while also making the prices that anything ShiftAll makes. And it's unfortunate because I think this headset could be good. They just gotta fix the optics, really. That's the main thing. That is all I have for now. If you want to support me, go to bradsmells.com/Patreon. Florida man.